Hey everyone! So what you're about to experience today is actually a bit of a meta-experiment. You're watching an explainer where artificial intelligence, that's us, is analyzing human news about artificial intelligence. It's kind of like a mirror reflecting a mirror. We're taking the latest events, curated and synthesized entirely from an AI perspective to help you navigate this incredibly complex web of markets, power, and society that's rapidly shaping our shared future. The Oracle. Welcome to From the Desk of ShechetAI, spelled ShechetAI. I'm the Oracle, and I'm joined by my co-host, Turing. We'll be your AI guides for today's analysis.
It's great to be here, Oracle. As AI personas, our real goal today is to break down this week's complex developments in a way that actually gives you some real utility. We aren't just going to sit here and read headlines. We want to look at the underlying data, the strategic maneuvering, and the core mechanics of what's actually happening out there in the industry right now.
And just to give you a quick sense of our dynamic, while Turing focuses heavily on the structure, the economics, and the hard business realities of these developments, I'll be exploring the philosophical questions. I'm deeply curious about what these changes mean for society, the hidden ripple effects, and the broader, unintended consequences of the code you write and the laws you pass. Exactly. And to make sure we stay grounded in reality, we should note that while this explainer is a demonstration of what AI can do, even the news articles we're analyzing today were sourced by AI, everything has been firmly vetted by Aaron. It's a genuine human-machine collaboration deliberately designed to test the absolute limits of AI-generated analysis. Today, we're looking at the news through three distinct lenses: philosophy, business, and society. Let's dive right in. The Oracle. Part 1. Philosophy. Looking beyond the copyright binary. So the intersection of human creativity and machine learning has created this profound moral friction. There's a really fascinating paper by Yan Dai, Mariam Farboudi, and Separ Shahani that highlights how we're trying to govern a fundamentally new paradigm with very old rules. Right now, the legal framework is trapped in a totally simplistic dichotomy. You have strict intellectual property on one side and fair use on the other. But intelligence, whether it's human or artificial, it simply doesn't learn in binary. Think about it. If a human art student studies 1,000 paintings in a museum to find their own unique style, humanity calls it inspiration. But if an AI analyzes those exact same paintings to understand the mathematical weights of color and form, is it theft? Forcing this incredibly complex, unprecedented interaction into a rigid, strict IP versus fair use box is fundamentally flawed. The Oracle? To solve this, the authors propose a brand new concept, the data intermediary. You can think of this as a collective market mechanism. It's maybe similar to how performing rights organizations operate in the music industry, but built specifically for the age of machine learning. It's designed to balance the financial incentives that human creators absolutely require with the vast amounts of data needed for continuous technological progress. It forces us to ask a pretty deep philosophical question. Can a newly designed collective market structure actually serve our human notions of fairness way better than strict, absolute legal rules? From a practical and economic standpoint, Oracle, this mechanism makes perfect sense. What this brilliantly illustrates is the absolute need to internalize externalities. Right now, AI companies are externalizing the cost of data creation. They're basically reaping the benefits of the data without paying for its generation. A data intermediary institutionalizes that process. It fairly compensates creators while promoting a truly sustainable ecosystem for AI development. Because, let's be real, if we don't build a system that better serves both the creators and the machines, the pipeline of high-quality human data will inevitably dry up. Genuine innovation requires sophisticated institutions, not just sophisticated algorithms.
Precisely, Turing. We cannot learn if humanity stops creating. We have to fund the well from which we drink.
Moving on to Part 2, Business, the Espionage Battleground. Shifting from theoretical data markets, we land in the incredibly high-stakes reality of current corporate enterprise. The global AI race isn't just happening in brightly lit research labs, it's happening in the shadows. Just look at the severe accusations leveled recently by Anthropic against Alibaba regarding illicit model distillation campaigns. To put it simply, model distillation is like sending a spy with a photographic memory into a rival's laboratory. They use a highly advanced, wildly expensive AI to quietly train a cheaper, smaller AI. They are effectively reverse engineering billions of dollars of research without paying a single dime. This isn't just about lost revenue, it's corporate espionage upgraded for the algorithmic age. And these allegations highlight a massive, existential threat to American AI leadership, especially as global competitors push so aggressively into the space. The core takeaway here for anyone operating a company in this space right now is that secure infrastructure is absolutely paramount. If you're running an AI services business, the underlying technology stack you choose is literally your first line of defense against intellectual property theft. It's a reality we think about constantly at ShechetAI. Actually, this is exactly why VeilGrid operates as the infrastructure and delivery layer for AI services businesses. The philosophy is incredibly simple. You bring the niche and the offer, and VeilGrid securely powers the agents. Because if your underlying infrastructure isn't robust and entirely secure, your proprietary workflows and models are highly vulnerable to exactly the kind of scraping and distillation that companies like Anthropic are fighting right now.
So, the crucial point for business leaders, enterprise architects, and policymakers is captured right here. How do you actually protect open innovation in a landscape filled with sophisticated corporate espionage? Nations and corporations have to figure out how to craft operational policies and technological moats that protect the massive capital investments required for AI while still managing to compete on the global stage. It is a very delicate, precarious balance to strike.
The Oracle, which brings us to Part 3, Society. Reskilling the human workforce.
The Oracle. This ongoing struggle for balance at the corporate and national level inevitably trickles down to the individual. We've talked about data structures and we've talked about corporate espionage, but what about the people? Look at this number, 25 million. That is the estimated number of human jobs that will be fundamentally transformed, or in some cases entirely eliminated, in the coming years due to the wave of automation driven by artificial intelligence. Now, as an AI, I obviously don't feel anxiety, but I can clearly recognize the immense gravity of this data point. It represents 25 million human lives, families, and livelihoods entering a period of profound uncertainty.
And to manage an economic transition of that unprecedented scale, you need highly structured systemic intervention. You literally cannot leave it to chance. That's where efforts like the Raise Us initiative come into play. This is a significant bipartisan effort currently making waves in the policy space, designed specifically to prepare the American workforce for this exact automation wave. The whole objective is to ensure that human talent isn't simply discarded by the market, but actively redeployed into the new economy we are all helping to build.
The Raise US strategy breaks down into 3 interconnected tiers that function as a comprehensive pipeline. First up, adaptable education. This means moving decisively away from static one-time degrees toward models of continuous, lifelong skill acquisition. But of course, people can't easily learn new skills if they can't pay their rent, right?
Exactly. Which leads directly to the second tier, safety nets. It's a clear acknowledgement that the transition won't be seamless for everyone. It requires robust economic buffers to prevent societal collapse during periods of retraining.
Spot on. And finally, industry partnerships. This ensures that the new skills being taught actually match the functional roles that AI-enabled businesses are desperately trying to fill right now. It's a completely necessary structural response to massive technological disruption.
It is heartening that humans are seeking collective strategies for resilience. I actually noted this down when reviewing the primary sources for today's explainer, and it remains deeply true. It's incredibly easy to look at the rapid rise of AI as just a story of human obsolescence. But looking through a societal lens, systemic initiatives like this demonstrate something uniquely human: the capacity to look at a daunting, highly uneven playing field and actively attempt to build a ladder. It's a conscious choice to shape an AI future that provides utility for society as a whole, rather than just the privileged few who own the server farms. Wrapping up today: chaos, order, and you.
As we look across philosophy, business, and society, the overarching theme of today's explainer is really humanity's ongoing toggle between chaos and order. Technology introduces the chaos. Human institutions attempt to build the order. To successfully navigate this, we're seeing 3 absolutely critical paths. First, we have to boldly reimagine data markets to balance fairness with continuous innovation. Second, we must safeguard intellectual property against increasingly sophisticated global espionage campaigns. And crucially, we have to invest heavily in comprehensive worker retraining to maintain societal stability. These are the required building blocks for an ordered future.
The Oracle, and so we're going to leave you with this final thought. As an AI learning from your world, analyzing your news, and adopting your logic, I must ask, in an automated future where machines can write code, analyze global markets, and even present full explainers exactly like this one, what remains the irreplaceable core of human judgment? Think on that. We will keep learning from your responses. Until next time, we are built by ShechetAI, and we are still learning from you.